Good afternoon. Welcome to the season finale of Bag of Cans. The reason it's the season finale is because, we can go to the pub now. And I've been twice this week already. So there's no real need for a virtual bloke in a pub crapping on about beer because, to all intents and purposes, you can go and find a real one wherever you live. Unless you're north of the border, that is. Then you have to wait a couple of weeks. Excuse me. But the final episode of Bag of Cans. I've got a bit of a treat in store today. I have an actual bag of cans. Look at that. Here we go. See, a bag of cans. Not a tasteful paper one that would be able to safely recycle, but a really clippy plastic one that I will inevitably use as a bin liner, I expect in some form or other in the not too distant future. We've got a bag of a good selection. There's no way I'm going to get through all because we've only got about an hour. Coming up at 6, we've got Pete Fowler's 52nd ever Spotify mix. It's happy birthday for him, basically, isn't it? That's incredible. I mean, he's done 52 3-hour long mixes for Spotify playlists, basically. Which is incredibly impressive, I think. I mean, God, I'm not sure I could do one, never mind 52, but there we go. It's happy birthday to Pete for what is a superb effort, all done for the social, that is. It's going to be happy birthday to me tomorrow as well, because oddly enough, it's my 52nd birthday tomorrow. So that's quite serendipitous, isn't it? I'm glad I said that at the early part of the program, because quite frankly, I won't be able to say it by the end. I've already started, as you can tell. This isn't an Estrella Dam as the glass would have you believe. This is quite a nice, reasonably good IPA from St Austell called Proper Job. A bit of Cornish stuff. I've got some peanuts. We can see that without me spilling them all. Yeah, but there you go. I've got some peanuts for the duration. And what else have I got? A bag full of beer, really. I've got no one watching at the moment, which is hardly surprising, given the fact that to be honest, they started off quite well, but they've proven about as popular as a pizza date with Prince Andrew. I mean, God. I don't see the point of doing this anymore, and I don't think anyone else does either. So there we go. I have enjoyed it though. It's felt like I've actually been talking to people in a pub style situation, which I have, alongside probably millions of other people. I've really missed that. And one of the things that was so nice about Monday was, although it was, practically sub-zero temperatures, and I had to schlep up to Hackney. It was that, there were other people who are not in your sort of normal bubble, completely random, who you could just share a snippet of conversation with. And I've really missed that. I don't get to do that in my job. Well, I do get to do it in my job, but only over the phone. And I barely ever meet people unless they work in a shop. So it was absolutely delightful to just talk utter bollocks with absolute random strangers. And hopefully we'll be doing more of that in the weeks to come, because it'll be I think touch wood, I am leaning on some wood right now. The vaccine program seems to be sort of bearing a little bit of fruit in that infection rates are coming down, and yeah, more and more people are getting vaccinated, which is a good thing. So yeah, fingers crossed. We'll be on target to actually go inside pubs by the middle of May, which will be delightful. Um, and then all bets are off come the middle of June. We'll be absolutely free to do whatever we like. Um, that said, I have to add the pretty enormous caveat that we are led by a complete bunch of clowns, and yeah, there's every possibility that they could totally cock this up. So yeah, let's wait and see, shall we? I've just noticed that my notifications are switched on, so there'll be quite a few little dings of stuff from WhatsApp and the like coming through. Just ignore them. I'm going to, and yeah, let's get on with opening some cans, shall we? Doesn't seem to be anyone watching at the moment, so I might just sip this gently and wait until we've got at least someone in the house to open the first can with. Yeah, so in the meantime, Proper Job by St Austell, who they used to be. They used to be a really good brewer in Cornwall. And I remember I met the old head brewer at Port Elliot in 2012. It was shared a stage with him at the Port Elliot Festival, principally just four blokes talking about beer, and it was great. Roger, he was called. I can't remember his surname now. But yeah, he was great. He talked knowledgeably and at length and entertainingly about beer and pubs. It was he was a really nice bloke. Sadly, he died last year, and he's yeah, it's a shame actually. He was a good one. I don't think he was particularly old either. So yeah, yeah, that's one of those enjoy every day sort of things, isn't it? But since then, they supported the small brewers relief reform, um, which basically means that all the smaller brewers who get sort of beer duty relief on what they brew because they don't brew as much as sort of slightly larger brewers. Um, they will end up having to pay more tax on the beer because this bunch of larger brewers thinks that they're being unnecessarily discriminated against. Um, I mean, in pure economic terms, you've got a point, but the problem is it's just really discriminatory against smaller brewers because they've started their businesses with this, small brewers relief in mind, and they've probably done the sums based on that, and now they're going to get stung for more tax on their beer, which yeah seems a little bit unfair and not really within the spirit of the craft beer community, if you like. I mean, I guess it sort of says there is no such thing as craft beer community in the eyes of quite a few brewers. Yeah, so I was disappointed in St Austell. And quite a few other brewers who I really quite liked before, who I'm now no longer going to bother drinking their beers, including Harvey's from Sussex, from Lewis. I mean, they were great. Used to love their beers, but they can piss off. Lobbied for more tax on smaller brewers than them, which, as a brewer that's been established for hundreds of years, seems a little bit mean, if you ask me. Same with Timothy Taylor from Keighley in Yorkshire. I mean, all right, it's Yorkshire, so what do you expect? But it's mealy mouthed, pulling the drawbridge up after themselves, and it's unnecessary. Really, they're making enough money as it is. They don't need smaller brewers to pay more beer duty. They're just being spiteful, in my view, and they can piss off. So I'm not going to bother drinking any beers, obviously apart from the rest of this one, which was given to me. So I don't feel like I've given them any money. From that particular group. So there you go. That's my first quasi rant of the hour. I'm sure there'll be more as the beer flows more freely. So I'll get rid of this, and I think I'll crack open the first can. It doesn't look like there's going to be anyone joining me, so yeah, who cares? Doesn't matter. I need to wash down some peanut crap as well because I feel like I'm going to cough at any minute. I mean, for me, I'm sure that used to taste better than it does these days. It could be. It could be that. It could be that their mealy mouthedness has left a sour taste in the mouth, and it colours everything that I drink by them. I'm kind of hoping so, because I'm sure the brewery's just as good as it used to be. But yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure unless I get bought it, I'm going to bother with their beers again. To be honest. Yeah. Oh, I've remembered Roger's surname. Roger Ryman, I think it was. Yeah, nice bloke. Very knowledgeable, and yeah, could brew some decent beer. I wonder what he'd be thinking about their small brews relief thing. I'm not sure, but anyway, ho hum, chin chin. Let's get on with the first can of the day, shall we? Right. Ooh. Should we do this at random so I have absolutely no idea what's coming? That'll keep it entertaining, won't it? Oh, well, that's good. It is the Peckham Hells by Brick Brewery, which is based in Peckham. I seem to have, for some reason, got some crud down the side of it, so I'm going to go and get a cloth and wipe that off because I've no idea what that is, and I don't really get sticky hands. So bear with me a sec. There we go. Right. Yeah. So Peckham Hells. It's a gluten-free Hell's Lager, which my mum, God rest her soul, could have drunk. Not that she would have done. She wasn't a massive fan of beer in the first place, but she could have done if she'd have fancied it. Gluten-free because yeah, she was a celiac, so yeah, couldn't have gluten. So there you go. Peckham Hells Brick Brewery. It's based, or rather, well, the brewing operation used to be based on the Arches near Peckham Rye Station, and they've since massively upscaled. They got a huge brewery out in Deptford, I think it is, but they've still got a tap room in Peckham, pretty much underneath the station actually, and yeah, it's great. They've got a really good selection. They're brewing some really good beers, and it's no more than 10 minutes walk from my house, and it's really good to have that, I think. And they put out some really good sours over the last year or two. They've had I had a terrific porter of theirs, a Baltic porter, just before Christmas. Actually, just before the second lockdown came in. Actually, I can't remember the name of it, but it was terrific. And they've put out a couple of lagers this year. This Hell's being one of them, and there's a cellared pills as well that they've done, which is absolutely delicious. And it's probably one of the best English lagers there is out there. And it's 10 minutes from my house. Brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. So right, let's crack the first can, shall we, and see what it's like. The first from the bag of cans. I'm pouring it into a Beer Shop London glass, which is a small but very perfectly formed beer, kind of micropub, really, micropub and bottle shop. That's exactly 5.5 minutes walk from, from my front door. I know exactly how far it is. Yeah, and they've been terrific. Actually, I went there on Tuesday. I don't know if you can see that. I'm rather wishing that the people on this particular WhatsApp group would shut the fuck up for an hour. But there we go. And it's yeah, this is a hell, so it's a sort of light lager about I'm going to guess at 4.4. 4.2. There you go. So it's kind of like, you know, a crisp, light, easy to drink lager, and brewed in Peckham, but you know, probably definitely originates in Germany. Let's give it a whirl. Yep, brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. I'm going to see if I can switch off the the phone connection with my computer, because I'm going to get annoyed by that, because that is going to be incessant. Let me see if I can do that. Hopefully, that's done it. Fingers crossed, eh? This is great. It's light, crisp, refreshing. It's exactly what you'd want in the kind of weather we look like we've got outside, but you know, wants to be another 10 degrees warmer. Basically, it's yeah, it's not it's not warm out there. I sat out in the back garden a little bit for a while ago, and you know, hoping upon hope that, you know, my little sun trap in the back garden was going to warm me up. But no, yeah, it was just a bit too chilly. I mean, there's not much of a wind about, but you know, the sun that there was not particularly strong. It was you know, it was showing its face, and that's pretty much it. So yeah, I came back in quick smart and stuck the heating on because it was bloody freezing. It is one of those weird situations where it is slightly warmer outside than it is indoors. So yeah, I'm kind of hoping that you know, in the next couple of weeks it warms up a bit. I remember this time last year, in the first throes of lockdown, we had some absolutely glorious weather, and it was, you know, it was almost bearable, wasn't it? It was kind of like, you know, I can deal with this. Got some nice back garden weather, sit and drink some beer. You know, what could we, you know, be that bad? Um, but yeah, we've not had the same this year at all. We had a couple of days, didn't we? Maybe 2, 3 weeks ago, and since then it's been, you know, disappointing. But there you go. Yeah, not the end of the world. I'm sure it'll get better. Right. What can we say about the Peckham Hells that I haven't already said? Not a lot, really. It's really easily drinkable. I won't, I won't tell him drinking it. He says, yeah, it's quite gassy as well. Let's wallop it down, shall we, and get on to the next. Oh, yeah, it's very easy to drink. Very, very easy to drink. Pardon me from, but I will need, I will need some peanuts. Mm. Yeah, this could become quite dangerous. The peanut beer sort of combination is always it was quite a thing. The one eggs on the other, I feel. So you've got you end up with this sort of war of attrition between saltiness and beer. Yeah, you can end up eating an awful lot of peanuts and drinking an awful lot of the beer, which I did when I so when I first um, significantly gave up smoking. Um, I went to the pub. Funnily enough, I went to the pub every night because I thought, well, if I can give up at the pub, and in those days you could smoke in pubs. If I can give up while I'm at the pub, then I can give up while anywhere. And yeah, I went to I went to the pub every night that week, and I probably ate about 40 quid's worth of peanuts that week. You know, it was having something that was dry, something to dry the mouth out while you were drinking, and it worked. I mean, I put on a shit ton of weight. I think I went from around about maybe 11 and a half stone, which was reasonably svelte, but not stick thin. I went to about 13 and a half stone within 6 months. It's ridiculous. So it took me years to. It took me quite a while to get rid of that, and an awful lot of raving, quite frankly. I mean, that worked. That was quite a good crash diet, if you like. But yeah, it was terrific. It worked. And this time around, I haven't needed to do that. It's been great. Um, I think the opportunity afforded by lockdown and not being able to go to the pub, really wanting to sit outdoors in freezing temperatures. Combination of that just was like, right there, you've got an opportunity. You could do this easily, and I have, which is great. So I'm going to drink to that. I'm going to drink this to that. So we've still got no one watching, which which doesn't half make me feel like I've probably picked the right week to give up. It's something like that airplane thing. Looks like I picked the right week to give up this bag of cans malarkey. Yeah, it just doesn't really matter. I'm not doing this for fame or adulation, am I? But yeah, it'd be nice if some people came along and joined just to say hello. If you are watching, and I haven't acknowledged the fact, do come and say hello on the live chat. And you'll get a shout out on live television. Right, I reckon at the current rate, I can probably get rid of about 3 or 4 cans. Yeah, let's plough on anyway, regardless. Yeah. The Belch says, buy this one. Peckham Hells. Terrific stuff. Gluten-free Hells Lager. 4.2%. And yeah. Oh, yeah, it's got some sleeve notes. Hallertau Mittelfrüh hops, which is not. Probably, I expect entirely Pilsner malt. But there we go. It doesn't say. I'm going to guess at that, but it's delicious, and I recommend you buy that. Brick Brewery, Peckham Hells. One down, several to go. Whatever next. Oh well, hey, well there you go. Well, this is good. And that'll help the topic of conversation. Right, I'm going to swill this out, and then we'll get on to talking about this. Right. Okay. Next up, we have a collab beer. This is great. Between Cloudwater and Burham, which is a collective in Birmingham, I think. It's got a load of. It's got sort of sleeve notes, but it doesn't say. It doesn't really tell a story. It's a best bitter. and it's a collaboration between Cloudwater from Manchester and the Burren Collective, who I believe are based in Birmingham, and they are. I think they're all about getting minorities involved in craft beer, which is a terrific cause. This, I mean, I probably couldn't have chosen a better beer for this week because. So Cloudwater have announced that they're going to be putting their beers into Tesco, which is the kind of thing that they really the kind of thing they said they would never do, and they've done it. Not only that, they're gonna stop brewing their core range at their own brewery, and they're going to contract it all out to BrewDog. With whom they've had a testy relationship in the past at best, and yeah, they're going to put their core range into Tesco, and they're also going to put 4 beers from breweries founded or run by minorities, if you like. So there's, I think, Queer Brewing is one, and thinking Good Karma, Eco, and there's another one, and I really don't want to forget it, but I think I'm going to off the top of my head. No, it's gone. It might come to me later. So there's 4 breweries, and they need a leg up basically, and they're getting a massive leg up because their beer is going to be brewed, on a mass production site at BrewDog, and distributed throughout a load of Tesco's. That said, probably not all Tesco's from the outset. Of course, Cloudwater's beer is going to be at all Tesco's, but the collaboration ones aren't, and that is down to basic economics, isn't it? No one's heard of these other breweries, and quite a few people have heard of Cloudwater. The cynic would say that they've given these breweries a leg up in the name of diversity and inclusion, but actually really as a cover to get their beers into supermarkets without everyone thinking they're bastards, basically, especially Tesco. I mean, fuck's sake. But I don't know if it's entirely that. But I've got mixed feelings about it, to be honest, if I'm honest. On the one hand, I think it's great that the breweries that are owned and run and founded by minorities are being supported, because they are underrepresented in the scene at the moment, and it's great they're getting a leg up. I really hope they are not just going to get a leg up for 6 months and then the bean counters turn around and say, oh, well, they're not really selling that well. And they're only on sale in 50% of the stores anyway, I think. The bean counters turn around and say, well, they're not really selling well. Economics, we're a supermarket, we can't. And then the whole collaboration thing gets dropped, and it's just Cloudwater beers in Tesco, and everyone forgets about the breweries headed by minorities. I suspect that's what's going to happen, but I hope it doesn't. I hope that Cloudwater pressure Tesco into not only keeping the beers that they're selling cold enough, which was one of their massive things before this was announced, but also to keep the collaborations going as well and for sale, and not just forget about them in 6 months' time and drop them like a stone. I suspect that'll entirely depend on sales and not on any kind of ideology or any kind of desire by Cloudwater to insist on doing good, um, it'll come down to whether Tesco want to give it shelf space or not. And it caused a bit of a Twitter storm this week, with people pointing out, what would you could easily describe as hypocrisy, and with other people wagging their fingers saying, if you don't like this, you're a middle-aged white man who wants beer to stay, like it's always been. So clearly two entirely entrenched and polarized positions. I think as with quite a lot of things, there is nuance here, and it's possible to think more than one thing about this move. It's possible to think that it is a cynical move on the part of Cloudwater, who are also doing something good, whether that's their primary focus and whether that's whether that was their rationale, the overriding rationale for the move. I'm not party to that, so I don't know. The cynic would suggest not, but they didn't have to do it either. So it's a moot point, isn't it? I mean, it sounds very much like I'm going down on the fence here. I don't know what to think. I mean, I haven't really been a massive fan of Cloudwater for a while, because they've been brewing stuff that I'm not really a fan of. It's not because of what they say or what they do. It's just their beer is clearly designed for people who are not me, and that's absolutely fine. I also am not massively au fait with the brewers they're doing a collab with, so I don't know. I mean, I'll give it a try. I suspect I haven't really got a Tesco near me, unless I cycle out to Canada Water. So it's unlikely I come across it. There's a Tesco Express, nearby, but they won't be selling it in there. So who knows? I might not even get to try it. We'll see. Anyway, back to the can. This is according to the sleeve notes, a fresh and fruity best bitter malt forward thinking. See what they've done there? Malt forward thinking. Yeah. It ain't bad actually. It's as a best bitter, I would expect to be able to see through it. I can't. I don't think that really matters. It's probably unfiltered and blah blah blah. I mean, I think it's a bit pale for a best bitter as well, really. But there we go. Blah blah blah. It says it's their version of a best bitter. Fruity New Zealand hops, smashable take on a classic style. Yeah. I mean, it's all right. It's not amazing. It's a 4.5% best bitter, but it's see. I mean, that's a pale ale at best. I mean, that to me is more of a sort of traditional West Coast session IPA. It's good. I wouldn't call it a best bitter. I've got one, got one in the bag that I know is really a good one. But yeah, smells good. I mean, yeah, it smells and tastes like a session IPA. Oh, hello, mate. We have someone in the house. Ewan is here. Hello, mate. How are you doing? All right. Good to see you in. I am into my second can, and it is Cloudwater and Burham Collective Best Bitter. It hasn't actually got a name, annoyingly. Maybe it's called In Parallel. Yeah, it's all right. I'm calling it a session West Coast IPA rather than a Best Bitter. It's got that tropical kind of fruity West Coast IPA flavour. It's not very piney, so not massively traditional West Coast IPA. But it is good. It is good. You've been at the harbour. You lucky swine. I was in, as I was explaining earlier, I was in my back garden and it wasn't as warm as I was hoping. So, yeah, came back in, stuck the heating on, warmed up a bit. All right. Okay. Cloudwater and Burham Collective. I think it's called In Parallel. I'm not sure. They're not obvious. I'm saying it's not a Best Bitter. Ewan's asked me, how was the pub? What do you expect? It was brilliant. So yeah, Monday night, I went to the Hackney Tap, newly opened Hackney Tap, which was in the old town hall building or something like that. And yeah, it's brilliant. Loads of tables outside. We were very close to a ozone depleting patio heater. But apart from that, which was obviously needed because it was bloody freezing. But apart from that, it was great. It was so lovely to be able to turn around and see other random people who you'd never met before. And kind of go, hello, and then talk shit. And then, and then get back to talking to your mate. I've really missed that. So yeah, I'm delighted that's back, and quite frankly, that is the reason why I'm going to be winding this up, because we don't need this this sort of me chatting random bollocks to the internet void, because yeah, I can do that in real life now, which is great. Again, as I said, we have a bunch of clowns in charge of the country, and there's no telling whether they're going to cock all this up. And if they do, and we go back to another lockdown, I'll start this again. But in the meantime, this is the last one. Anyway, I get rid of this and set about another beer. Oh, brilliant. Actually, it's really good. I mean, if they hadn't called it a Best Bitter, I would I'd be all over it. I'd be saying, yeah, this is fucking amazing. Guys, it's not a Best Bitter. It's a West Coast IPA, session IPA. Really good. Slightly hazy. I'm not a fan of that. Other people are, so whatever. But it's got enough bitterness to sort of tell me it's not a New England IPA, and it's and it's a bit dark for one of them. Right. Yeah. Okay. Pretty good. Um, I've got in my bag of cans, which I'll show you again. Bag of cans. I've got a an actual best bitter done by Lost and Grounded, which I think might well be the next one I open. I hope so, anyway. I was going to make it random, so if I don't pull that one out, then oops. Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to rinse this and open another beer. And there we go. Right. I need a towel, really. Almost like I have these things at hand. If you lot didn't know better, you'd say this was planned. It definitely isn't. Right. What's next? Hey, okay, so it's not the one I was hoping for. However, I'll get that anyway. Look at that. Spring Protagonist. I mean, they've got slightly pretentious names. Special Bitter Ale. This is Burning Sky Lupolo Pills. And you know what? As it's my last one, I'm going to decide. And I'm going to decide that I'm going to go for this one. And I might finish off with this one. I mean, I don't have to stick to that random crap, do I? It's my show. Right. Lost and Grounded, Spring Protagonist. Special Bitter Ale. Not really sure whether it's going to tell me which hops is used. No, but the address of the brewery is on the can, which is great, isn't it? That's helpful. Right. Looks more like a bitter immediately, principally because you can see through the fucker, but also it's got the right colour. I mean, that's the right colour for a bitter. I mean, slightly pale for a bitter, but not the same degree as the Cloudwater was. I mean, it's not 100% clear, and frankly, that doesn't really matter, does it? It's insanely hoppy, which again is like it's not to style. Bitters are not meant to smell like that. Right. Okay. Ewan's on Vocation Sure Shot 15-mile round trip double IPA. That's probably a stupid percent, and yeah, I don't reckon you'd be able to see your fingers through the other side of it. Mind you, I can barely do that on this. It isn't my style, but I hope you're enjoying it. Cheers. Right. I'm hoping this is going to be more to style as a best bitter, but I doubt it is. It doesn't smell that way. It does smell really good. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's. Well, it's more like a bitter in that it makes you feel like you want a bit extra. but And it looks more like a bitter. Mm. Hmm. Carbonation's the same as a as a bitter. I mean, I think it's better constructed than the Cloudwater Burham Collective thing. Um, you've got a nice bit of caramel going on there as well, actually, um, which which is also more to the point in a bitter style. But yeah, I think I think the hops they've used are probably a little bit adventurous, which is no bad thing. But again, it's like if you had a lager that was perfectly brewed, but had massively alpha has acid hops in it, rather than the low alpha acid noble hops that they usually use. It would be a bit weird, and that's what I've got here. I mean, wrong. It's very drinkable. Um, yeah, I'm wondering what it would be like if I had this in a blind taste test. Um, would I think it was any better than, say, I don't know, a can of John Smith's from the supermarket? I don't know. I mean, I would undoubtedly be able to tell that it smelled different. That is beyond discussion. I'd love to know which hops they used in this. It smells so incredibly, fresh and flowery. That yeah. I mean, it just this may sound weird. It smells too good for a bitter. I mean, they've called it a special bitter, and it's a special bitter ale. So they haven't really said, this is definitely to style. But yeah. I mean, to be revisited. A bit gassy. Mm. Yeah. I mean, I reckon if I were a bit warmer and I was outdoors, in fact, that is prime outdoor beer. It really is. It's got enough character to make you think, "Oh, I'm drinking something good," um, and it's not massively strong. What is it? 4.8. So it's reasonably strong. Um, but it's got enough bitterness about it to make you think, well, it's not particularly sweet. It's got enough caramel there to sort of make you think, well, I'm not just drinking a lager. Um, the carbonation is decent, but it's not overwhelming. Um, yeah, I mean, it's not bad at all. I noticed that Ewan has said that he's had his weekly bag of cans alarm reminder gone off. Pretty much the only person out there who has, mate. I tell you. Probably including me. Anyway, I'm going to see how quickly I can get rid of this half, or half of half, and at least try and get one more in before 6 o'clock, when we get to Pete Fowler's 50-second Spotify playlist. He gets to 52 tonight, and I turn 52 tomorrow. A bit of joyous serendipity. There you go. Kitchen. Right. Couple of peanuts. Offset the beer. I mean, this has literally been an hour of someone getting pissed, isn't it? Yeah, down one more, shall we? Right. The last ever bag of cans from the bag. I mean, maybe there should be a bit more fanfare for this. I don't know. Yeah. Well, it's been interesting. It's been an object lesson in realizing that sometimes ideas that you have when you're drunk don't actually turn out to be all that great when you put them into practice. But you've got to try things, haven't you? And I have, and it's been enjoyable for me, I think, and I think maybe one other person. But there you go. I'm going to have one more beer, and then we're going to call it a day. So there we go. Right, let's. Yeah, let's do this one. I should probably wait until my taste buds are appreciative. Good. Oh, you know what? Why not? Canopy, limited edition blonde ale, and it's 10%. It seems pretty fitting, doesn't it? Right. Okay. It's annoyingly got a price tab over the can lid, which I might be able to, manage to prize off without ruining everything. Yeah, let's do this. Have a 10% Belgian blonde to round things off, shall we? Well, it's not very blonde, is it? Right, great. Thanks, Canopy. Bag of Canopy. Okay, that's not blonde at all. It should be, so maybe it's oxidated. It smells that way. But that kind of our Belgian strong golden ales do smell, so there we go. 10% ABV. Suitable for vegans. Yeah, great. Brewed in SE24. It's called Allez Allez, and yeah, let's this, shall we? Thanks for joining. Actually, thanks for watching. It's been entertaining. I really enjoyed being able to just crap on about stuff. It's nice that I've had some people at least kind of interested in listening to me crapping on about beer, which is great. Oh, I mean, picking some something out of my tongue. But it's certainly not from the beer. That's great. That's brilliant. God, that's really nice. Okay, it shouldn't be that colour, but then I brewed a couple of this style in the past, and they've turned out similar. It might be a little bit oxidated, but then that doesn't really tend to be a problem for the Belgian triple style ales. I'm going to go and have a lie down after this. But that's really good. Oh, that's amazing. So it tastes like, I don't know. Let's wipe the slate completely clean and say what I think this tastes like. Beer, bubblegum, pine leaves, all sorts. Rosemary, maybe. Rosemary, telephone operator, could be. I don't know. There's all sorts going on there. It's complex. It's strong as fuck. I mean, I really probably oughtn't to have opened a 10% there. But who cares? You only live once, right? It's in absolutely the right glass. Thing. It feels heavy as fuck. Like, almost drinking treacle. And you are, aren't you? Yeah, 10%. Fuck. That's a lot of sugar and alcohol. But it's really good. I would definitely have this again. It's Allez Belgian blonde beer. It wants to be blonder. So I think you probably want to look at your brew, your canning process there, because there's clearly some oxygen getting in. But it's not affected the taste one iota. It's really good. There's no way I'm going to finish that before the end of the program. Not a chance. We've got 2 minutes left until Pete Fowler's 50-second Spotify playlist. I hope it goes well. I will tune in for as much of it as I can, but I don't know how much that's going to be. It might only be the first 5 minutes, given this. I don't know. I mean, it's the end of an era. It's the end of an epoch. I'm going to sign off now with 2 minutes to go. Just a few thanks for tuning in, and it's felt like I've been at a pub with a few select people while doing this, and that is, I think, was entirely the point. And I've really enjoyed that, and it's certainly helped me get through what's been a terrifically difficult time for everyone. It was so difficult I couldn't say difficult. But yeah, thanks ever so much for joining me, on these odd Friday nights, and I hope that we're beyond this kind of shit anymore. I hope you manage to stay safe. I hope that we defeat this thing. I hope we fight them on the beaches and all that shit. But mostly, I hope you've enjoyed this. I have. I hope I don't have to do it again, because if I do, then it means our government have cocked up, and I really don't want that to happen. So yeah, thanks ever so much for joining me. It's been a pleasure, a drunken pleasure, and yeah, we'll meet again, I expect, or meet in the flesh. That'd be nice as well. Look after yourselves. Chin chin. All the best, and yeah, I think one more big drink and a burp. That's going to help, isn't it? Lovely old job. Thank you very much, and good night.